Okay, we're talking about business plans. Now, business plans, you know, people say, I need to see a business plan. What they really want is a marketing plan and a short business plan in terms of an executive summary that then can be expanded at will. And obviously, the cost of this is varied, but the difference, of course, between yourself and most others, you created business plans that actually got funded. And that's the big difference, the funding thereof.
Yes.
Tell us a little bit about that.
Sure, I'll try to keep it short.
Sure.
You've got business plan for a growing or startup business,
Sure.
which could be very elaborate.
Yeah.
Could be anywhere from 10 or 12 pages up to 50 pages.
Or even more, 100.
Or even more, 100
Yeah.
pages. It could have color graphics. It could have designs.
Oh, 9 yards.
Real fancy schmancy.
Videos of the locations.
With the front back cover.
Yeah, models of the restaurant as it's going to look.
Photographs of beautiful people.
Yes, exactly. Oops.
Diagrams and projections and everything.
Yeah, but that doesn't make money, does it?
Well,
and what you do makes money, doesn't it?
Depends on who you're presenting
Yes.
business plan to. If you're presenting it to a nuts and bolts banker, they might not even be looking at what you're doing, per se.
Sure.
Do you really care what they're serving at the restaurant?
No.
You know, how many varieties of, pasta they have.
Sure.
They're really looking at, is this guy a good credit risk? Can he pay the money back? Do they have a good solid projections? Are they going to be in a good location? And what's the guy's credit score?
Yeah.
A lot of this is credit driven.
Right.
So I'll do a fancy, beautiful business plan. They're expensive. They start off at $700 to $1,000 and up.
Yeah.
Just to get started.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay. Then there's something called an executive summary.
Absolutely.
That's 5 pages. See, most bankers have about a 5-minute attention span while they're sitting on the drinking their coffee in the morning.
Exactly.
Okay.
I don't think our banker friends would be pleased to hear this, but nevertheless.
No, but it's true. How many people have more than a 5 or 10-minute attention span?
Exactly. And your job, and you've been doing this now for 15 years, and probably dozens of corporations that have actually been funded with your business plans, and I know this to be true. Tell us a little bit about, the expectations of that banker, of that funder, of that investor.
How much does the client need? What's the client's credit score? What's the risk involved? How soon will they be able to pay it back? And what's the likelihood that they won't default on the payments? How much are we risking? What's the bank's risk? And how much return on investment? And those are the main things they're looking at. What was the other question?
Well, you've got another question. The other question was SBA. Obviously, the SBA is very closely involved in these types of business plans because people go to the Small Business Administration. Now, there's a lot of misunderstanding. If you've got the bank on your side, it's still very important because the SBA will look at the bank for guidance in most 90% of these issues.
I have 2 or 3 contacts with SBA also. Again, they want some sort of an executive summary.
Yeah.
It could be 5 pages, 10 pages.
They tend to be a little bit more detail-oriented at the SBA, don't they?
Yeah, but right to the point.
Yeah.
Not a lot of fluff.
No, they're not going to be impressed with pretty pictures. They just want to see the figures.
They want to see the figures.
And what's very important, of course...
And any estimates and things like that.
And at this moment in time, of course, employment. If you can employ people, you're going to be looked at a lot more favourably.
If you're going to be an employer of 2 or 3 or 4 employees, it's much more favourable.
Okay.
Now, here's the catch with SBA. They also look at credit score of the owner.
Obviously.
Okay.
Yeah.
But you've got different divisions. You've got your main SBA. Some of these SBA people require 10% down.
Sure.
Like, let's say you needed, for example, 100.
Sure.
You'd have to have 10 set aside somewhere just to show good faith.
Yes.
That you're serious. They're not going to do 100% funding.
No, they never do. They do 60, 70%, and then
maybe even 90 in some cases. But the guy's got to have perfect credit.
Yeah, and employ 10 people, sort of
right.
thing. Yeah, exactly.
Right.
Well,
then you've got one more division.
Sure.
They have a separate division called the Women's SBA. Division. And this is especially for women business owners and minorities.
Okay.
So very often I'll send people to that division instead.
Okay. Well, it's all a question of expertise, is it not?
Maximum, I think 25 or 30. But very few, lot less hoops to jump through.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Well, look, this has been excellent guidance, and from the point of view of SBA, you're very familiar, obviously, with the California SBA, and you've also got experiences in Vegas, as I given to understand. So, if you're interested in SBA, if you're interested in business plans that do raise money, as opposed to just sit on the shelf collecting dust, come and see us.